So you don't bleed out the junk that's in the bowl?
Well, we'll take the top out and we'll just visually inspect the top. Use this little screwdriver to pop it up a little bit. And then there's the handle. Should be 2 handles. And this is filthy, filthy, filthy black. We're letting it drip. And then you're right. If we wanted to do a perfect change, we would also drain the bowl to get that debris out of the bowls. See, there's a little sludge down there on the bottom.
Yeah.
But since we're just going around the harbor today for docking practice, I vote that we not take time to do that because we've still got a lot of dirty fuel inside the fuel tank.
Right.
So if we cleaned this, it would only stay clean for 5 or 10 minutes. So
what about these secondaries?
The secondaries are secondary on the engines, and that's the silver ones back there on the back. So the whole goal is to have the RACOR up here in the front catch all of the debris. Wiggle this in slow, don't splash it. And now we'll have to prime the top of this. So how will we prime this filter?
Open that bottom nipple and...
No, prime it. We need to put fuel in it to prime it up.
Turn that on?
Yeah, can you grab that behind me? Or let me see.
You can do it.
Put my hand on it. Okay, was that my flashlight or the screwdriver?
No,
okay, so there's the valve. So it was my flashlight. Okay, so now I'm going to open the valve since the fuel and that tank is at a higher level than the top of this. I'm going to open that valve behind my back like magic. And
there it is.
There it is. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, it went back down. Why?
The filter absorbed it.
Right. The paper cartridge absorbed the fluid, so now I'm going to reach behind my back again and flood it. And you can see it's overflowing. We'll wait a minute or so to see if the filter, the paper filter, absorbs any more fuel. And then, of course, we had that catch bucket at the bottom to catch any of the debris. We'll put this back up there. It might have gone down just a tiny, tiny bit, but not really. I'm opening the valve again. Okay. So we've got 100% priming there.
Watch
now,
that junk down there in that bilge.
Okay, get my filter cap. Put my filter cap back on it.
Why didn't you put your vacuum gauge on there first?
Because that goes on last. Right there. So what I want to do is get my finger wet with diesel fuel and lubricate that O-ring just a little bit. And then we'll put this in place. Now I'm just using the gauge head right now because it's freewheeling. But when it gets down to the bottom, I'm going to use the T-handles to put the extra strength on it. So now I'll turn it around like this.
It'll be interesting to get our reading on the vacuum gauge when we start off.
Right.
Where we end up later today.
Do you have that tiny crescent wrench?
The dental tool?
Yeah, the dental tool. Is that the one that jumped in the bilge?
There it is. No, that was probably your flashlight.
Okay, yeah.
Hope not.
So we'll put this on here. Snug it up a little bit. And turn that face so we can see it. So we're good. Now we'll take this needle here. See, that's a follower needle. The dynamic needle is at 0. And the follower needle, I'll bring it down to 0 also. So they're both at 0. They'll come back up and they'll settle at the 0. And then when we run the engine, we'll be able to tell how much vacuum that we've pulled through the now clean filter, or later on in the day, the dirty filter. And we'll be able to determine when that filter needs changing in the future.
Gotcha.
So that's the maximum indicator vacuum gauge, not a pressure gauge. So that's simple. You want to do the other one?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Don't forget to open the valve
Open. Oh yeah.
so we don't
complete it?
starve the engine for fuel.
Right.